Hello, welcome back to Helping Hand. Today here on Helping Hand, I'm going to show you how to change your motor oil and your oil filter on a 2007 Ford Focus. The first thing I want you to do is to verify what type of oil you have in this particular unit. And you can do that by either looking in your manual or looking at your oil cap. And we're going to do that as following. Okay, your dipstick, it used to be yellow. This is your dipstick here. This is how you can check and see how much oil you have in it. And then right across from that, there's a cap. This particular cap here, you unscrew it, and this tells you on it 5W20. So that's the type of oil you need for this unit, 5W20, and it'll hold approximately 5 quarts. So go ahead and leave that off to the side. Then after you, some people usually put their car on a jack, and sometimes you can actually crawl underneath it, but I like to put them on these little ramps here. If you can see those. Those little ramps, they work pretty good. Just drive up on them. Makes it a lot easier. Then also, when you drive up on them, set your emergency brake in so it doesn't roll. Make sure it's in park. That's basically it. And the things that you're going to need to do this particular job, you're going to need your motor oil, 5 quarts of oil filter. You can use a pair of channel locks, or you can use some people use a screwdriver, or they got filter wrenches that you can buy as well. But this works fine. And sometimes you can unloosen with your hand. And also you need something to drain your oil in. And this is a drain pan. You can use that. This is all you need to do this particular job. And also a 5/8 wrench to unloosen to drain it, to drain that's on. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's look up here. Well, then we're going to locate a few things here before we start. That's your oil filter. It'll be white, gray, or whatever. And most of the time it say oil filter. This is your oil filter. It's not very, and then on the other side of that, across from that, is where right across from here, this is where your pan plug is at. I don't know if you can see that. It's right there. Right here is your plug. Now you want to get your pan in place. And usually I drain the oil first before I move the filter. And you just be ready to, because when it shoot out, it's going to shoot out that way. So you want to kind of position your pan just right so you don't make a big mess. And usually they usually be pretty tight, but not overbearing tight to where you have to put a hammer on it or anything. You don't want to make sure you have no leaks. And while you're under here, look for other leaks. Sometimes people have a transmission leak or a water leak and don't know it. You can just kind of look at everything while you're here. And I think the oil costs, that's in full synthetic. That was running a special like $27 for 5 quarts. That's pretty good. That's a pretty good price. That's not too bad. And then the oil filter running you about $11. So probably about $32. You can have everything you need to do it. And it doesn't take you very long to do it. To change it, you can save yourself. Most people charge anywhere from $50 to $100 just to change your oil. And for you do-it-selfers that like to do things yourself, you can save you some money by doing it yourself. Just having the right tools and the know-how, it's not very hard to do. But if you don't want to fool with dealing with the oil afterwards and stuff like that, or, you know, if you ain't got time, I understand having it done. You just take this screw out. Here it comes. And you kind of have to gauge it because it usually shoot out pretty good, like way back there. May make a little mess, but that's okay. There you go. You drain all your oil out. So go to there. And sometimes they'll be pretty tight, so if you got a pair of channel locks, you feel like you need to use it, you just grab it like this and just turn it. This is not too tight, it's not too bad. When that's stopped, go ahead and put your plug in. Stop, you can move it over a little bit. You can get them both. There you go. And then do your filter. Because you're gonna have a little fluid in a little oil in here as well. You just move it over just a little bit. And there's your filter coming off. And there's so many different ways. People put like a little cup underneath there to kind of catch the little excess oil that's dripping off, but this works just as good. Let me get the oil out like that. Let it drip till you don't see any more dripping. You plug back in, and be note on the end here's a magnet. Just make sure there's no big chunks of metal sticking on the end. If you see big metals and stuff, big chunks, it may be little shavings, that's okay, because you're gonna get little shavings, but if you see big chunks of metal, you may have something going on in your engine. So you might wanna, just to take note, and then make sure when you put your plug back in, you don't have big chunks of metal. Go ahead and put your plug back in, like so. And then we're gonna put our filter back on. So, open it up. You want to kind of inspect your filter. I've seen these come new and be damaged. Make sure this seal is here. You want to make sure there's nothing wedged or broken inside of here. Make sure it's a really good looking filter, and this is good. And what you want to do, you want to take a little oil of your used oil. I just take a little bit on my finger, like so. Then I just oil this a little bit. You want to give it a really good, just a little bit lubricant so it doesn't tear it when it goes up. It's just a little bit, not a whole bunch. And then also, you want to go ahead and fill your filter with oil. Just fill it up. Very good. Fill it up like so. Let it sit for a couple of seconds. It'll drain all the way down in there and just pour a little bit more. You want to fill it up so there don't be no air in there. I mean, you don't have to do this, but a lot of guys do. And then you're gonna go ahead and put it back up. On the edge of this, make sure that's smooth, and then you screw it on. You just start it with your hand, screw it on. And then you want to take it and give it a good turn on it. You want to tighten it up pretty good. I usually hand tighten it, and it usually does pretty good for me. If some people put a wrench on it. Once you get that tight, got that, we're gonna go back here and check make sure our pan is tight. I started it, but I didn't tighten it. You wanna go ahead and tighten it up. And I always start stuff with my hand first before I put like an impact or a wrench on it. Started with my hand, make sure I'm not cross-threading anything. And you just want to tighten it up. For those who does use the torque wrench, you can actually torque this boat. I think it's anywhere from, I want to say 15 to 20 foot-pounds of torque on them. That if you feel like you need to torque them. But it's not really 100% necessary if you can just tighten it up with your hand pretty good. It usually lets you know if it's gonna leak or anything. Main thing is just not cross-threading these, because I've seen them get cross-threaded, and then you have to have your pan drilled out. But you want to make sure they're good and snug. If you don't have a torque wrench. There we go. That's good. Wipe everything off. So when you start it up, when you get your oil in and start it up, make sure you don't have any leaks. If you see an old drift, you'd be thinking, man, I have a leak or something. So make sure you wipe everything off. That's that. Now we're gonna add our oil to it. Throw it in, like so. And so I'm going to pour all of this in there because I know it takes 5 quarts. So this is 5 quarts here, so I know it's going to take all of it. Some cars take more. Like my truck takes 6 quarts or 7 quarts. Some take 8 quarts. It depends on the size of engine that you have. Always check your specs for what type of oil you have, how many quarts it take, and so on and so on. Let that sit for a minute. Let that oil drain down. In the meantime, we're going to check our dipstick, see how much oil you have in it. There we go. I don't know if you can see that. That's the oil. And they got holes or lines. You want to fill it all the way to, it's got to say minimum or it's going to say maximum. Some of them may say low, some of them may say high, but you want to fill it up to the maximum line that's on there. I don't know if you can see that. Every dipstick is different, depending on the make or the model. Let that drain down a little bit. Then you just put it in there and check it one more time. There you go. You want to be in between that mark. So we're good. And then you're going to have to count also that you're on a hill. Your car's up on a slant, so when you come off the slant and be even, it'll show even marks on your oil. That's basically it. And change your oil in a 2007 Ford Focus. Clean all the oil off. Don't forget to put your lid back on. Boom. So all I have to do now is take the car off the jacks, check check my level one more time, and that'll be it. We're gonna dispose of the oil. Usually I keep the oil and always keep these containers. You can pull the oil back in here and fill it up and put a lid on it, and you can put it in you can either take it to your local oil change people. They can dispose it, or you can put it in the trash can, but you have to have a lid for it. So you can just pour it back in here and put the lid for it and put it in your trash can. Just never pour it into a drain or outside or behind the fence. Like in the early 70s, we could just, like if you lived on a farm, you can just take it out there and pour it on your land, but you can't do those things anymore. So make sure you dispose of it correctly. And I usually just put it back in the container, put a lid on it, and put it in my local trash can. Well, that's it for this oil change. I thank you guys for subscribing. I thank you guys for watching. Continue to follow me. For those who hadn't, you can find me at Helping Hand OKC. That's Helping Hand OKC. And I thank you. Bye-bye.